Maritime horror stories. I will put this here because I know Kay loves a gruesome horror story from real life. About 2 weeks ago, a fishing vessel off the coast of Brazil near the Amazon River Delta finds a seemingly derelict boat drifting at the sea. The boat is full of dead bodies, rotting bodies, badly decomposing, like they have been on the seas for months. Coast Guard and police are called. Forensic investigations start. The boat looks much like the boats used by coastal fishermen in Mali or Mauritania at the northwestern coast of Africa. Pick kinda related, that's what you get if you Google Mauritanian fishing boat. It's 39 feet long, has no engine or rudder, and not like there has been an accident and they lost the rudder, but like this boat has never had a rudder. It's a fucking rowboat. On board there are 9 rotting bodies and 27 cell phones, suggesting that originally there were a lot more people on board. Best guess is that it used to be a migrant boat. They left the African coast trying to get to Canary Islands in the Atlantic, and they missed the Canaries. Current pushes them to the south, out to the Atlantic. Around 30 people trying to get to the Canaries. That's Spanish soil. They can apply for asylum. So they get on this dinky little rowboat, packed tight as sardines, and set off. Their navigational equipment? The captain's old, non-waterproof cell phone's GPS. At best, they have some kind of sail, or worse, just oars. It doesn't take much of a storm to overshoot the Canaries. They end in the mid-Atlantic doldrums, the calm belt. They have no engines. Food runs out. Water runs out. Scorching sun starts to take its toll. People start dying. At first, they dump the bodies into the sea. Later, when they get too hungry, they don't dump the bodies. Months later, a boat with only 9 rotting bodies washes on the coast of Brazil. B. the Batavia, new flagship of the Dutch East India Company. Maiden voyage from the Netherlands to the city of Batavia, carrying gold, soldiers, and settlers to help set up the company. Cornelis, a company official, was planning to take the ship and the gold for himself to establish his own little kingdom. The plan? Have one of the female settlers raped, and have the captain come down on the perp so hard it starts a mutiny. Settler is raped. Fails to identify attackers. No punishment from the captain. There goes that plan. Next plan. Divert the ship slightly off course away from the rest of the fleet to buy more time so we can come up with an actual plan B. Ship crashes onto islands off the western coast of Australia thanks to the diverted route. Most make it off alive. Captain takes a small crew with which he'll try to row the lifeboat to Batavia for help. Puts Cornelis, the mutiny plotting company official, in charge of the survivors on the island. Cornelis sends the soldiers off to another island to find a fresh source of water and to signal back once they found it, aka fuck off to that barren rock over there and die. With the soldiers gone, Cornelis and his mutineers go about setting up that kingdom they'd planned. Men are murdered, children enslaved, and women put into harems. Meanwhile, over at the island, the soldiers found fresh water, wondering why they're getting no response for all the smoke signals they're sending out. Survivors from the other island start trickling in, telling them that their island has gone full Lord of the Flies. War between the islands breaks out. Cornelis wants that fresh water as well as to deal with the band of armed witnesses sitting smugly on top of it. Cornelis leads a party by himself to negotiate the soldiers' surrender, gets captured instead. War continues between the soldiers and the rest of Cornelis' mutineers for a couple weeks. As the mutineers prepare another attack, sails appear in the distance. It's the fucking captain come back with a rescue party. Mutineers and soldiers race for the ship. Soldiers get there first, spill the beans on the other group's bullshit. All mutineers trialed on the spot. Most are sentenced to hanging. 2 are marooned on the Australian mainland, becoming Australia's very first permanent European settlers.